for the first time into the Holy Spirit. Has risen to the 3rd position on the Holy Spirit. He even fought a battle. Is it 06? Silly people asked the photographer what name this was. Try to keep your face up and forget. I am trying to introduce myself. Try the name. The man behind him boasted loudly. Our master is the heir to the throne. First of the old world. The photographer had never heard of a previous life. The strongest man seems to be trying. Try to hold out your hand every now and then. He grinned, haha. This time we come. I want to make friends with young geniuses. You say small words to the photographer. I feel strange. 6 adventurers suddenly turn on friendly mode. He clapped his chest excitedly to protect Hang. My favorite thing is to make friends. From now on, we are friends trying to keep our faces straight. Smiling softly, I also have this idea. Try not to want to be friends with us. We are very welcome. We've since become compatible friends. Lamb tried to line up and patted the photographer on the shoulder. I like your personality. You are welcome to try. We are guests. Try to market us. I will definitely love your genius. More than other countries. The photographer brushed his hands and said, I like having friends as much as I do. But we are free. Get used to it and close the family. Afraid of not getting used to it, always glance at your eyes and say your grace. If there are enough resources, I'm afraid it doesn't take half a month. We'll enter the realm of heaven. Think about it carefully. Our doors are always wide open. I welcome you. He said he left. Startled the people in the back. He hurried and shouted for the young man. 6 adventure here, asked the photographer. This guy wants to salute us. Haha, look at him talking. It seems that Lao Tzu is the first world. It's completely different from trying. I don't know what relationship they have. Photographer replied, don't worry, he's a self-righteous guy. They don't want to recruit us. Look again to see if you are capable. He was the first legal heir. I thought I was the whole family. Motto reminds photographer. Be careful, today you show up. Being so endowed, the young men are definitely targeting you. Reassure. Why are we looking for someone to spread the news? We want, after completing his training at the Celestial Institute, just consider joining a family. That can last a long time. It's time to finish the training. Motto O up. The photographer continued. Before we finish our refreshment, the people are not looking either. Disturbing other nations. Have a chance. And this is not a bad choice either. Every now and then my blood grinds my teeth. Tell them they don't know the truth. I want to be friends with them. Willing to submit to us as worthy friends. We remind them. Unwilling to surrender. They deserve to be my friends. The guys in the back followed me. This guy is too ignorant. Try to laugh contemptuously. What can a genius do? Behind there is no support. Relying only on one person, you can't shake a world. We want him to live. If you want him dead, die. If it wasn't for the dead order of the temple. I taught him. Then I said. He was seriously cold. He said he didn't want to surrender to me. I can only make you live your whole life. Don't even think about going to the celestial world. And so the night falls. In the deserted mountains. Suddenly a house appeared. Surrounded by poetic peach forests. This house is protected around the city. Inside it is the moon. Sitting with my eyes closed. Then he opened his eyes and said, that's what I mean. I don't blame him for turning his eyes like that. Time without love 04 is indeed extraordinary. Can you turn back time? But once you reach the world of change, the Emperor, you can slowly think about your existence. Things I can help you with. Only give your fate. Move it on, people. God came to me, not you. The Lord can only help you here. Next, you can turn the tide or not. You have to see yourself. My mother is human, but there's blood on people. I love my God. They are not allowed to exist in the world. I hope you can bring my future hope. Keep living for good. The photographer is done. The blue spheres would turn around and disappear. The next morning when the sun awoke. In the classroom, it's all messed up. All eyes in the class were focused on photography. Everyone we're talking about is Kier. The name is photographer. In the Holy Spirit, defeated Long Yu Yin to compete for the position. The guy next to me panicked. You talk small. Not afraid of being heard by Long Vu Sound Sao. The bald man sighed and told her not to be here. I heard that Long Vu Yin was beaten by Ba Roi. Make others jerk and roll their eyes. But the bald man confirmed it. Such an arrogant woman is humiliated like that. I think she's more upset than being killed. Now she is. Speaking of here, suddenly, he saw the dragon ball appear. Everyone is silent and terrified. Gina is now looking for a seat. Seriously think, it's just the Holy Spirit. You can't prove you're stronger. I will defeat you on the other side. Look at the photographer in front, that extremely ak-con him. The photographer's side suddenly tried to get confused. Face-to-face greeting photographer, 6 adventurous brothers. Give me your finger of praise, you are too strong. The photographer was bewildered. Try to laugh, haha. I don't think you've really crossed the dragon boat. In fact, I also want to beat the woman. But she's too strong for you. More and more I obey you. The photographer modestly replied, it's just the Holy Spirit. And you probably can too. Try to keep your eyes open. Shaking your head, no ha ha ha. Even though I have faith not to lose her. But it's too hard to use ROI to whip her. Your hands say you can talk. You are now the only one I serve. The photographer laughed. You don't have to say that. The Holy Spirit of Heaven, I can't really say anything. Long Yu Yin is just a passing guest. She's not my enemy. That's not what we're really dealing with. Try to laugh or laugh, that's terrible. The ability to connect the heavens and the earth. It's also a symbol for a cold force. Frost ice is like long wine. Conquering must be a pleasure. I want to tell you the truth. I want to turn you. She became one of my many concubines. If you are interested, give it to you. Make the photographer think. This behavior is very unruly. By the time I was 10, I had more than 20 wives. I don't know if he's pretending or if he is. Try to keep laughing. He is relentless. The photographer remembered that right. Right after that, someone named Hang. In the world you come to us. I tried to get my face straight and said that. Be quiet for a few seconds and ask the photographer. No matter what you and your 6 friends choose, you are still my friends. The photographer and the 6 adventurers looked at each other laughing softly. Try to remember, but remember. Try not to be a good person. You better stay away from him. If you are recruited by him to be his servant, I hope you are still you. But she told me to refuse, trying to startle me. Oh, non-stop laughing and laughing at the faction, haha. I turned to try to keep my heart narrow. If you refuse him, you have to be careful. He laughed softly and said, I'm not worried about the future. You can go out and experience. If you have an electrical soul, you die once. Try to laugh, haha, it's just you. No matter what happens later. I just need you to say a word. I decided not to refuse. The photographer said too much with his lips. We're all whispering 8 things non-stop. Then behind, Wang Yang glanced at the melancholy thought. The difference between me and him is too big. Fast forward, strong footsteps moved to make King Yang realize. Then the spirit appeared in front of the practitioners. Then he took a look. When I saw the photographer, I laughed. I know a lot of people here. You have come to practice the field. There are some. Get the achievement on the rankings of the Kai D experiment. Your gifts have exceeded my expectations. It's great that other students have to try. There are only 5 places to go. If no one wins this year, then we have to wait until next year. Next year, there's a lot of people from the south and the north. List. This year may be your last chance. The people below immediately held the table. Hand strain. Just sit down and tell him. You should learn Ba. The other day, we tried condensing the Ganoderma flame. I don't know if you will review your paper after you return. If you can condense Ra, you can report it to us. This is also equivalent to, you have a chance to go to the hospital. But 6 adventurers said they weren't training at all. The chain above continues. This lesson, we'll learn how to cultivate physical strength. What a great fake cultivation. First, the body must be strong enough. But increased physical strength. It's not that simple. I said throw down the hand. It made the students below shiver. Full body wide eyes in terror. Lin Chai said it was a bit of a mystery. Inside is put into the deep. Based on the deep Kai inside. It is divided into 5 categories. 500 pounds, 1,000 pounds. 1,500 pounds, 2,000 pounds, and 2,500 pounds. You can choose one and put it on. Of course, we can't use solar power. Use only physical strength. 6 people here are terrified. 2,500 pounds of SAO, a pile thrown on the ground. Is this earth okay? Try to remind yourself not to joke. Again, this is the long term. Don't think like you're in the spirit world. Of course, we have to do our best. The chain is now reminded. Take full body power to the extreme. One of them went up and tried to hold the key. 1,000 pounds should be light. Seconds later, using full force, but can't lift it up. Makes him stupid. The people behind me laughed. Lin Shane said, pay attention. You can't use the celestial Kai. Avoid making false judgments. A guy who uses all his strength to move his muscles. Raise your teeth. Raise your shivering gums. Put a little tiger on your hand. Then the tiger walked away. It makes 6 people look confused. They're basically holding 500 pounds. It's really that heavy. Quickly dance, the serious face goes to. She stood up and took a look. In just a few seconds, I have chosen the right one. We're on hand, softly chained the spirit who looked at. Long Wyan gently lifted the punch. It's a staggering 1,500 pounds. I found the right nurse in a moment. Lin Chain Claw Beard. Just think of Ra Long Vu, who practices a little bit every day. Armor, not less. There's a chain of blood vessels. Maybe 1,500 pounds can still be saved. Kim Dean turned her face to look at, and then look at the pile below. But exclaim this name of the fiery dragon dance sound. 1,500 pounds and hold it gently, so I came. Even 100 pounds can be exhausting. He put it on his hands and walked away breathlessly. 6 people stood up and laughed. It's our turn. So the whole group rushed up. Kim Deem also looked curiously at Theo. It's no wonder that 6 adventurers have started to breathe so hot. 6 hanging down to say 1,000 pounds. We can also say, then put it on your hand. My face was flushed with smoke, my ears tried to laugh, haha. He said it's still possible. But I also wear 1,000 pounds. But Miss Hand boots look very light. 6 filler like the shore. The photographer was also serious and bent down to choose. He's got a little dignity in his hand. I feel like 1,500 pounds is fine. Think about it, but wear it like that. It would be a waste of energy. It should be 1,000 pounds. A moment later, everyone has carried a little weight on. Lin asked the chain, until it's completely devoid of celestial chi. Do you realize how weak your body is? I saw a guy shivering trying to raise his hand. Lin Chai said, you can conduct training. In the practice room, I will point you out the secret to cultivating physical strength. They all looked at each other and then ran away. Each one in a corner where the machine dances, the feet scream. 6 adventurers here also try to swing their hands. Dance as you did last time. The spirit chain here reminds you to practice physical strength. Air is the most important point. Slowly breathe out, using the air pressure. It's also a form of connection to the heavens. The body is nourished by heaven. Then we can become bigger. Come here for the amazing chain. With a posture photographer growing a banana plant. Relax with one finger. It's hard to understand. What's the point of putting all your energy into planting bananas? This training method. I've never heard of it either. Control the body very well. A little movement is not there. Even the air is very stable. I see something is wrong. He can't be so immobile. Even though the body doesn't move. But the muscles of the whole body are trembling. It's interesting what kind of method this is. Geniuses are not the same as ordinary people. It's better not to bother him. Then the chain turned around. He walked past the others. People keep practicing. Each one will point to. The students bowed their heads and thanked the master who was here. Long Vu Yin just trained and looked through. He looked at the photographer with his eyes wide open. Lin Shane spoke up. You are all geniuses of this divine root. The ability to understand is also beyond others. Especially the geniuses this year. It really is beyond my expectations. I hope you don't get too arrogant. There are better people. They are the dominant existence in the universe. But in other gods, there's a lot of genius. When you rest, they didn't stop practicing for a moment. 6 adventure heard so startled. Lin Chai said more. Your goal is to get through. They're talking here. The whole crowd was determined. Just a moment after practice. Kim Deem here breathes. Tai Chai Lin has been watching it for several hours. Believe that you're getting used to your own body weight. Let's start training right away. Find your own companion. Next are the 2 against each other. It's best to be equally powerful. Don't do too much martial arts. 6 bewildered adventurers asked for real combat training SAO. You asked 6 of us to train with you. 6 mildly agree. I don't want to fight the rebels. The photographer laughed and said, Your son fought with the old man SAO. Soon you will know. Suddenly, everyone looked at him in wonder. The photographer also wonders. There was a voice behind the rabbit. Transmitted by a beautiful girl. Call the photographer, brother. I haven't found anyone to train with either. Right? Made the stupid photographer turn back full of bewilderment. The other girls were talking about Nie Li. She's up. Comedy party. He is ashamed to talk to people. Not finding an opponent at the right time. How about we fight together? See that? The photographer immediately agreed to say yes. Please teach more. It makes people happy. That's good. Suddenly, Long Vu Sound Tunnel spoke Hanan. Step aside and surprise her again. The photographer was also surprised. Dragon Yu Yan came to claim he was my opponent. The girls want to roll their eyes. Is Long Fu Yin. The comedian closed his eyes for a few seconds. Then he hurriedly turned to say, My brother's photographer goes first. Don't forget to listen after school. We still have time to talk. To be a fool. Suddenly, he told me seriously to talk later. He looked at Long Yu Yin preparing to fight. At this point, Long Yu Yin watched as he left the cold. And then looked at the photographer with sharp eyes. 2 people with 4 eyes look at each other like 2 real enemies. When people walk towards the girls, they sold out. I'm looking for a photographer again. Maybe she also saw the photographer SAO. So the purple-haired sister objected to what do you think? A few days ago, you didn't know why. In just one day, the Vietnamese have passed Long Vu Yin in the Holy Spirit, but still beat Long Vu Vu Ba ROI. With the personality of Long Vu Yin, how can I hold it? He must be looking for revenge. Listen to this hot news. The red-haired sister said, I've been practicing fast these days. Tell me. People say that they all share each other's ears. You can let Long Yu Yin lose face like that. The school principal's really bad. But Dragon Yu Yan's body is not a normal person. Can be compared. I'm afraid the photographer will suffer. I also saw this on the other side. I am seriously sweating out. Go to the next training session. They can only use physical strength. Not to be able to mobilize celestial intelligence. Body strength is the basis of all cultivation. In the process of training together, you are careful. Meridians transport throughout the body. She now goes to pat the shoulder. The photographer, take care of it yourself. This woman has a long chain of blood. Strong body, extremely powerful. I'm afraid you're not an opponent. Don't worry, don't worry. I know what to do and I'm amazed. The photographer continued, It's not power, so don't pay attention to her. Hearing that, Long Yu silently gritted his teeth furiously thinking, despite ranking on the Holy Spirit. They lost the regency, but against the body, we absolutely can't lose. Lin Chai contemplated Long Vu Yin thought. Long Vu full power it. Afraid that it would affect the entire practice room. So he said the students. Each of you is limited to 1 square meter. I will lower the boundary around you as you fight. Best not to go out. Already said, he quickly lowered the barriers. For pairs of opposites. Long Yu Yan announced. You have humiliated my body. I'll give it back twice today. I want to defeat you completely. He said, I will play with you until the end. Just finished the sentence. Long Vu Yin immediately threw a kick. The photographer hurriedly raised his hand to stop him in amazement. My body is floundering, and I despise her too much. The power of this woman is real. It's not like people. Long Yu Yin continued to gain momentum, and then a powerful kick strikes. The photographer quickly bent over and dodged the stone. She also had to complain about her quick response. It can't be hit. Immediately jumped up and threw a kick close to the photographer. At this moment, he suddenly saw that there was a gap. Make Long dance silly. Not enough to react, the photographer threw a punch in the thigh. Long Vu Yin was quickly hit and fell. Lies beneath the ground. The photographer asked if he was dressed. Chai Lin looked at, surprisingly commented, Long Yuan's continuous kick. It may not hit. But the trick is used up, so it's not out of love. But this only gap was captured by the regent. Long Yu Yin now forced to breathe pink. I wonder what you think. His power is clearly inferior to mine. But the power of power can directly knock down. I can't even stand. So Long Yu Yan jumped up and said, That's interesting. Keep hitting. But the photographer was quick to dodge the blow. Not give up. Long Vu Yin consecutive stone to lamb photography. Annoying glass thought still does not stop. Why is this woman crazy and I didn't have an accident? Do you really feel like you can win? Everyone around, take a look at this fight. But admire when the regent is completely unscathed. Dragon Yu Yin is a chain of blood. Lin observation chain, although the photographer's body is much inferior compared to Long Vu Yin, a lot, but he knows. You have to use your power skillfully. How is it? In the martial arts interpretation is stronger than dragon dance. The gift of photography, not at the same level as other students. I'm leaning over here. Hand to catch the kick of Long Yu Yin. It made her limp, deformed, retracted. This position made Long Yu Yin yell with a red face. You do something. Let me go and speak. When you deal with me, you are cruel. Let me give you something. And so he moved on. On your hands, raise your feet high. Make Long Vu sound full of discomfort. Can only jump back to the edge. Her legs trembled in pain. Make the people nearby look up and ignore dragon dance. Yell, let's go. Otherwise, we will not be welcome. Photographer, near Sao airless asking voice. You feel the chains of your veins. It's terrible. If you have any other tricks, take them out and let me see. Do you have any other tricks? He said, clasped his hand. It made the dragon dance tremble and scream helplessly. I hate the words that are about to sound. The photographer asked why. If you press on a point, you can't struggle anymore. This is the Sao chain. It's out of my mind, of course. You are nothing but trash. Based on the power of the family. Abandon your family. You are just a useless person. Except for yourself. Who cares about you? Long Vu choked the distorted words to speak. The tears immediately welled up. I want you to rape people too much. Immediately jump up and launch out the other leg. Use 2 legs to clamp the neck. Make him realize it's not right, my lord. Long Yu Yan quickly clamped down on his head. Bend down to make the photographer fall on his face. Fortunately, this trick worked. It makes the photographer soar into the sky. Make him grind his teeth. Think not to use celestial Kai. To unleash such power again. If you can't breathe, you can't be killed by her. He hurriedly moved his head up. The furnace of dance. But she's determined. I absolutely do not let go. My whole body trying to squeeze. If you say so, let go. So he grabbed it. Use your hand to grab the neck of Long Vu Yin. Make people open their eyes and mouths. In front of two people burning wood. The photographer was trapped by Long Vu's thighs. It can't be withdrawn. Long dance sound. She was gripped by the photographer's hand. This awkward position makes both bodies shiver. It makes everyone around you gaping. The women cover their eyes in shame. The smell of shrimp sauce is gone. Release or I will choke you to death. But Long Wyan decided not to release. I promise I will be with you. To get the dog's blood pumping to the brain. He glared and squeezed her neck with force. It is also difficult to breathe the scream. Kao Ra. And so, the more she screams at this crazy girl. I can see the chain outside as well. Long Yu Yin asked you to release your hands first. Like a lukewarm photographer playing dirty tease. Tell me if you don't let go. I will strip you of your clothes. It scared her to death. Wait a minute. Then her legs came out. The photographer's arm is also released. Long Yu Yin breathed red on the ground. The photographer stood up and rubbed his neck, complaining that the smell was gone. He immediately went into hiding when he didn't notice. Threw the stone straight into the photographer's stomach. Made him stretch into the border wall a beam. She hugged a painful stomach and called Long Vu Yin. But she's wrong. You deserve your life. Now the border is falling. The photographer left the boundary straight away. Before leaving, he glanced at his piercing eyes. Make the dragon dance sound scary. In front of this man. Standing as the sky grows. Cats speak words. He watched the photographer's back leave. She's holding her lips tight right now, and her hands are shaking tight. Everyone table. It seems like the Germans can win this battle. The other guy said Long Wyan really met the enemy. When the photographer goes to his companions. 6 adventure photographer. Funny ha ha. As happy as your face is, it's dark now. It makes 6 adventures difficult to understand. I think it's an SAO photographer after all. When I met Long Yu Yin, I was angry. It's obviously not familiar, but it's weird. They had enemies in previous lives. Haha. The purple-haired girl was also surprised. I can't believe Long Vu Yan had the courage to forget himself, defeat Regency, even sneaking. Besides, she's got a chain. You can't even win. People commented, this is because this dragon dance is self-inflicted. She gave herself a champion body. Not still lost to photographer, SAO. The more you look, the more you feel that there is a problem with Long Yu Yin, clearly humiliated in the spirit of prophecy. And come back here to kill without letting go. Wasn't meant to get the photographer's attention. That's why the purple hair excitedly asked. Tell me who your brother is. I told you not to think about it. More than many people. They're targeting your photographer. It's long before your turn. Makes my hair pale. Who knows? Your brother will not like you either. And Kim Deem here thinks. What kind of monster is this photographer? I don't blame you for looking down on me before. He doesn't see himself as anything. Nearby, a group of skulls folded their hands and asked each other too. Did you see it? So what do we bother him for? Wang Yang shivered and glanced at his eyes. whispered the name of the photographer. Chai Lin saw everyone shuffling and spoke up. You have found the right friend. You can often fight later. Exercises to enhance body strength. Today's program is over. You can continue to practice here. 3 days later will be the third class. The students heard that and breathed. The photographer is now speaking up. Let's go together. But suddenly, someone came in the back, told me not to go. Long Yu Yin's serious face fiber punch, offered to continue fighting with me. The photographer also ran out of words. 6 spinach points hand-gritted teeth cannot speak. People come to irony. Dragon you, are you too thick? See the photographer, I don't care about you. Long dance near the voice. You dare to say one more thing. Then Ra will throw you out. I dare to say anything more. The photographer spoke up. You don't want to take that shame. The old woman replied, I didn't lose. We can't admit defeat either. Unless you really beat me. We continue to fight. If you win, it's up to you to make any request. And if you lose, I'll give you back your previous ROI. But the photographer was disgusted and told him to stay out. I don't have time to mess with you. Said and slipped through. At this time, Long Yu Yan was furious and gave a strict order. I told you not to go. She turned to glance. Immediately spew out a swirling kick that attacks the photographer. Thanks to the nimble body, he leaned away. At this point, the photographer was angry. Put your hands down and turn. Go straight to Long Yan and throw punches. But she backed away from the blows. The rumbling sound explodes, to everyone's amazement, and yelled and started hitting again. Then this is the real power of Dragon Dance SAO. She's also carrying 1,500 pounds. In the moment, Long Yu Yin threw a 1,000-pound punch. With eyes full of gas, the photographer sees that, quickly used 2 hands to block the attack. But the punching force is too strong. Make the photographer bounce out after a meter. And everyone who sees that should scream in horror. Hurry up and put your hands on the brake. It's not a stretch to the wall. In the blink of an eye, the sound of the dragon appeared. Roll up your legs to get ready to kick down. The photographer also itches. When the kick hits a beam, then the photographer jumps straight up. Do not try to stand near the aesthetic observation Long Vu Yin. This is not a fight. This is a fight. Your photographer may be in danger. Use your sword if there is an emergency. Right now, I don't care about the truth being revealed. Turn around here for a few rounds. Then Ake said, I've given up time and time again. You didn't even stop. But Long Yu loudly announced, it will never end. Already said, continue to send freight to Lao directly to Korea money. The path of retreatment. When Long Yu Yin's kick came close, suddenly the photographer disappeared in front of him. Long Vu was stunned. Even trying to catch up with 6 adventurers, they asked with their eyes wide open. Dodge in the air SAO. Where are you? In the moment, suddenly appeared next to Long Vu Yin. When she's confused, then immediately grabbed the leg. Or this dirt. That her legs were immobilized. You can't get it back. Then the photographer threw her forward. Make Long Vu sound shout 7 bars. This one blow, it made her kiss deep into the ground. A floor beam punctured a hole. Long Vu sound lies motionless. It hasn't stopped yet. The photographer kept grabbing her leg and threw it straight to the ceiling. Then the photographer sped up. When Long Yu Yan opened his eyes, He was surprised when he